Hi, so I just wanted to do a quick little introduction to the video that we're about to show you. This was an interview that we did with WorkL, and in this interview we discussed behavioural economics, nudge theory, and how we use them to enhance our AI adoption process. Enjoy.
Hello, welcome to WorkL for Business Insights. This is a series from WorkL which looks at HR trends, challenges, and also opportunities facing employers and business owners. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Babak Daemi, who is co-founder and marketing director of PromptAI. We are going to be discussing with him how businesses can nudge their workforces to embrace AI. Hi, Babak. Thanks for joining me. Tell me a bit about what you do.
Hiya. So Prompt AI is an AI adoption business. So our sole purpose is to focus on the people side of technology and AI adoption. There was studies done by both McKinsey and Boston Consulting Group that suggest that actually up to 70% of the likelihood of success of a technology to work in a business is down to the people. So as much as training, actually there's a behavior element. It's about changing what your day-to-day interaction is with that technology to get the best out of it. And that's really what we focus on. Something else that's really important to us as a business is the work that we do with people from disadvantaged backgrounds. So I myself would be considered, I guess, from a disadvantaged background. So part of our promise as a business is that any work that we do, we try to hire someone from a disadvantaged background for the duration of the contract, give them a London living wage and give them exposure to business that they might not otherwise get. So as well as the exposure to our clients and these corporate businesses and ways to behave and ways to conduct yourselves in that environment, also exposure to marketing and sales and the AI itself. So these are really the premises of the business.
What amazing work you do. That's lovely to hear. Can you tell me a bit about, how business can nudge their workforces into embracing AI? Behavioral economics and nudging is been used in the past, by governments and businesses. Be interested to hear about, how you think businesses should be nudging.
Yeah, so the way that we've looked to integrate it, or I would say layer it into the existing well-qualified adoption process, is there are four main tools that we used. There is fear of loss, relative ranking, anchoring, and nudge. So fear of loss is really quite important in that actually as a species, as people, we are more concerned about losing something than we are gaining something. So although we wouldn't want to do it throughout our process because we want to stay positive, quite often what we might talk about is not the time that you save or the time that you get back from AI, but the time that you're losing by not using AI. And that slight switch in the framing of how we present AI as a tool or the benefits of AI will help people feel more accustomed to it immediately. And this actually, the study that this is based on, or one of the studies this is based on, was done with cuts. And two groups, similar groups, were given cups. So they were demographically the same, right? One group was told the cup was theirs, they could take it home. The other group was asked if they would like to buy the cup. So then both groups were asked to value that cup. And the group that were given the cup to own it valued it 3.5 times higher than the group that were asked to buy it. And part of the reason for that is because it was now theirs. So they had a greater affinity with it. So they valued it higher. So it's about making people see how it's something of theirs already and the time belongs to them. So this is about making people understand how it's their time to lose as opposed to new time to gain, because people are just more inclined to focus on or be inclined to want to keep hold of the time that's already theirs, right? Another tool that's really important is relative ranking. So again, as a species, we are inherently designed to compare ourselves to our peers, to our surroundings, to everybody else around us. So what we do is we take the back end of Copilot, which breaks down the usage on an individual basis, on a departmental basis. You can actually be a little bit more sophisticated with it if you like, but invariably you tend to keep it to department and people. And then we'll announce those top 3 to 5 people. What that does is it creates that relative ranking. It creates that position of the leaders, the more successful people at using this tool. And then by demonstrating who those people are and rewarding those people, which is actually also a nudge theory, the rewarding part, what you're able to do is enforce people to act faster and encourage people to act sooner. So those are two tools that are from the wider behavioral economics theory that we use. There's another theory that we use that's really important to us, which is anchoring. So anchoring is about how the first piece of information you hear on a given subject tends to hold true. So this is used a lot in the news and in government. But in this context, what we like to do is start by giving the positives. We have the first conversation and we focus a lot about the successes and the wins. And by doing that, the first interaction that people have with this tool and with AI is that of success. There was a study done actually, now that I think about it, about how anchoring works. And it was done with a charity donation website. And they A/B tested two pages. So page A suggested donate £5, and page B suggested donate £400. Other than that, it was the same. It was unbiased. Whoever came to the website made their suggestion. The group that got page B, that was £400, the average donation was about 130. The group that got page A, where the suggestion was £5, the average donation was about £3 or £4. So that anchoring piece of text, that first suggestion played true all the way through to the action at the end. So this is used in our messaging and in our strategy to try to nudge people and push people along the right path and to the end objective. And then nudging as well. Nudging is more about those day-to-day interactions. But I think the best way that we've used nudging so far has been with the onboarding process. Onboarding is integral to the success, right? And as part of onboarding, training is very important. But from our experience, what we felt was going, I wouldn't say wrong, but what could have been done better is that by creating that onboarding process and ensuring that people go through all of this training and all of these different touch points to get to use Copilot, there are actually barriers to using Copilot. So what we do is we send the email to say you've got Copilot. It's immediately visible, or it should be immediately visible. If it's not, we prepare for that by prompting that you, excuse the pun, but by prompting that you restart your machine. But what we do is we say, hey, congratulations, you're on the pilot scheme, you have Copilot. Why not try it now? And we show them a picture of where they can find it. And in every tool, so email, Word, whatever tool it might be, the Copilot symbol appears on the screen in the top right. We show them where it is, and we ask them to summarize the email that we've sent into 3 to 5 bullet points. And in that email is text, which is quite a long piece of text about what Copilot is. Now, we know there's two benefits to this. One, they're not going to read it because people don't like to read a lot of text. But two, it means that all of the barriers to usage are gone. They immediately use it. It's like one of the first interactions they have is to use Copilot. So we see that we've broken down that first barrier, which is all part of that nudging theory and all part of that nudging process. We also like to highlight successes early. So we might do this by, as we've touched on with the relative ranking system, and by rewarding people, but also any of the early feedback we get that's positive, we share it so that there's that relativity. People can see around them that their peers are enjoying it and that their peers are using it. And this works as a nudge to that individual to start to use it. And actually, Microsoft itself uses this nudging theory by making it a default option. So if you open up a Word document and you start to type, immediately the symbol appears within the Word document itself. So you're instantly suggested, it's instantly suggestible to you that you can use this tool. And once you get into the right mindset and the right frame of mind for using Copilot, as you go to that blank page and you're thinking to yourself, what do I need to write? What do I need to create? You can tell Copilot what it is that you want to create, and Copilot will do that first iteration for you. So it's a really cool way of getting people to use it really early. And then the final way that we like to use nudge is through continuous feedback and improvement. And here we would look to weave in the business culture. So one of the things that's also very important to the development, which goes beyond behavioral economics, is the business culture itself. So if you have like a hierarchical business process or culture, then we might lean on the CEO and send comms from the CEO and ask the CEO to be our guide. But if you're a bit more bureaucratic and there's a little bit more autonomy throughout the business, then we will look to find champions at a senior to mid-management level, and then we would use them to help us provide continuous feedback and improvement to continue to help nudge people. And that, in summary, really are the tools from within behavioural economics that we like to use in order to try to help people get into grips with and actually get using Copilot and AI. In fact, actually, it's quite what's quite telling, or what's been proven already, because it's still quite early, right? So a lot of the theory is still being proved. But Microsoft actually did a bit of research based on the usage of their tool, Copilot. And what they found was this 11-11 tipping point. Now, this 11-11 tipping point is fascinating. It takes 11 weeks for a person to save 11 minutes a day using AI. Now, the reason that that's so important is, A, it proves how important behavior change is to make AI work. Because as a business owner, I'm sure, and you think you're investing in Copilot, you would assume it would be quicker than 11 weeks before people are using it, right? You would just assume it's there. Why not? Why aren't you using it? But secondly, 11 minutes is the tipping point within the person's mind that they now start to see the benefit, and they start to see huge growth in usage. So that is a key study that was done to show just how important it is to focus on that behavior change.
Amazing, Babak. That's so interesting, all of those theories and how it's, really understanding, that, AI for many people today, it's quite an alien, quite a scary concept, and they don't know how to use it. So this is great information for business owners and employers and managers to really understand, how best they can nudge their workforce into using AI and benefiting from AI. Babak, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll come back to you as AI progresses, and in the future
That'd be great.
we see how it can really develop our workforces. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.